Right. Hello, hello. Good evening. We are here again, live. How y'all doing? Welcome to the den. We are in the house again. We are in the den again. We're excited to be for another week. I'm excited to share, to teach, to empower. Listen, I am excited. Do me a favor if you are in here, I want you to chat, write a comment, let me know where you're watching from, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook. Good evening, everybody that is on with me. We excited, y'all, literally to be in the den again. And so I'm excited, y'all, to teach, to impart, to challenge, to push. Good evening, good evening, good evening, my lovely wife. Good evening, my mother. Mother in love. Good evening, Sister Latrice. Good to see you on. I'm excited, y'all, that y'all jumped in to listen and to be empowered tonight. Y'all, tonight gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I every time you you do a live or you do a message or whatever, you say it's gonna be good. So I'm just gonna say every single one of them gonna be good. But tonight's gonna be good. I'm excited to be in the room again. Listen, I want y'all to um, definitely. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike is in the building. Hey, Mike, it's good to see you on here. Um, Oh, listen, he's a good guy, wonderful guy. I'm glad he's on. Listen, I've got some stuff to share tonight. So do me a favor, you can. I want you to share this on your page if you ain't already shared it. I want to make sure that we can get it out as much as we can. Tonight's going to be good conversation, something to definitely you want to glean from on to be empowered. And so we want to make sure we do that. Definitely sharing this tonight. And listen, I'm excited, y'all. Has been a year that I think that we don't want to end this year off on the wrong foot. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish. And so we want to finish this year off good, strong. And we're excited, y'all. This is the first one in the month of December of our episode. And so we're excited to definitely share in this. And so y'all, I'm telling y'all. So I'm going to start. I'm just giving another second for us to settle in. I'm going to get in here and we're going to have a conversation. So again, if you see me look down, it's because I'm looking at the comment, looking at my computer. But I'm going to be looking up at you as I talk and as we dialogue tonight. So excited, so excited, so excited. Listen, this is going to be good. We have over the past, matter of fact, I think last week was my first full month, y'all. This is a month and a week, and we're gonna keep pushing this episode number 4 of the Destiny Emerge Nights. For those that may not know what it is, Destiny Emerge Nights is something that I started that got started through me, that is about empowering people that have destiny, trying to find their destiny, find a place, find their footing in life. And this particular podcast live stream, how we want to say it, is geared towards definitely giving some nuggets, some wisdom, some just insight to help challenge people to really find their footing. And so we have been in a I would say a season of episodes. This is episode number 4 on a topic entitled Against All Odds. And so we have been talking about the life of David. We've been talking about him, how he had so many different challenges and so many different barriers that he had to overcome. And so the conversation tonight is going to be geared just on that particularly. And so we're going to dive into this even more. If you read the description, you already know the topic tonight is cave life. Cave life. Do me a favor, put that in the chat. I want y'all to put that in the chat. Cave life. That's gonna be our topic tonight. We're gonna be talking about the life of those individuals that literally been in the cave. You may not have been in it in a natural cave, but metaphorically, you've been in the cave. And so the conversation we're going to be talking about is going to come from David and his experience. And so I'm ready, y'all. I'm ready to jump in here. It's good to see my sister in here, Monica, Janisha. Good to see you in here. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Now, do me a favor now. If you hanging with me, please put some likes in there, some love, some hearts. Give me something, making sure that you are interacting tonight with us. I'm telling you, this is going to be good. I want to give just a point of scripture. So I said this last week that when you get to the den, you're going to have we're gonna have inspiration, we're gonna have motivation, we're gonna have challenges, but the one thing we will always have is scripture. We're gonna have some scripture to base our conversation off, so we can make sure that we are growing in our conversation. All right, so excuse me. So First Samuel chapter 22, and we're gonna just jump in this conversation. This is gonna be good. It just says this in verse 1. It says, so David escaped from the place and fled to the cave at Adullam. When his brothers and all the rest of his families heard about it, they went to him. Verse 2, then everyone who was in trouble, in debt, or bitter about life joined him, and he became the commander. There were about 400 men with him. Okay, so that's what I would just want to start to stop just in the context. So that's First Samuel 22 verse 1 through 4 is what we kind of read there. Actually, a couple of verses out of that. And again, our conversation tonight is on the cave life. The cave life. How God realigns vision in obscure places. How does God realign my focus in obscure places? So, just to give context to the story, so we can build this conversation tonight, is that in First Samuel 16, we see the life of David coming onto the scene, where the Bible tells us that Samuel had a mission. God gave him a mission to establish a new king. And we know the story of Samuel or Saul, how Saul was the first king of Israel and how he rose to prominence and he was powerful. God anointed him, excuse me, and out of that particular season, God had saw Saul's life, who was watching Saul's life, and we know that Saul ended up disobeying God. He ended up literally doing some things that was out of the will of the Lord. And the Bible tells us in 1 Samuel 15 that God told Samuel. And spoke to Samuel to tell Saul, because of his disobedience, because he was willing to walk away, that God was going to take his spirit away from Saul. And so the fast forward, we see David rising to prominence starting in 1 Samuel 16. We find that God sends Samuel down to anoint the next king. The next king was considered to be coming out of the house of Jesse, and we know that David had 7 brothers. David had 7 brothers, and when David had 7 brothers, they were told to come in the house, and each son had to walk under the oil, and whoever the oil poured on was the next king. And so we know that they went through all 7 of the elder brothers. Each one of them looked at like a king, operated in some type of form of kingship. In other words, they looked like it, they acted like it, but they was not the chosen ones that God wanted. They was not the one that God wanted to pick. And we find that David was in the sheep, tending to the sheep, and God ended up sending a word to Samuel, like, listen, you looking at the wrong people. You've been focusing on what looks like a king instead of what really has a king heart. And at the end of the story, David becomes anointed. And through his life, we see that David was literally going through so many different transitions and change that we dealt with in each episode. And the last episode we dealt with is how David came into relationship with Jonathan. That if we are in obscure seasons of our life, or things are against us, that God will send us right relationship that will help push us and align us to our seated position. So this conversation is going to be good, because this conversation comes in play after David have literally became friends, literally have become a soldier in Saul's army. And the Bible tells us that David was so anointed, was so skilled, that he literally started to rise to prominence, and the people start to shout, Saul killed thousands, David killed 10,000s. And in that, Saul became angry and bitter towards David, didn't want him to survive, and didn't want him to rise to prominence. And out of that, Saul literally was on the run, was on David's heel, was trying to kill David, trying to do everything he could to eliminate the potential king. And in this, we see David literally running, trying to find his way, trying to find his place. And the Bible says in 1 Samuel 22, he arrives to a cave called Adullam. Now, here's something that's crazy, is that David is a person that God had anointed. And in him being anointed, watch what happens. He is on the run. It's so crazy, because if you study the story, it doesn't make sense naturally, that if God was going to anoint David to be king, was anointing him to be the next one to rise to power, and David is rising to power, why would God allow Saul literally to threaten David's life? Why? In the midst of David building traction, rising to power, he now is under persecution. He's now being faced with trying to survive, being faced with trying to live throughout all of this. So we see David is on the run, and he's running to a cave. Now, Tonight, I want to unpack just a thought concerning the cave, because most of us are in here that's listening either are in a cave, just came out of a cave, or getting ready to go into a cave. You're going to go into a season, what our focus is tonight, of what I would call obscurity, meaning that there are somebody that is either in obscurity right now, or you're about to go into it, or you're coming out of it. But all of us at some point of our life experience obscurity, experience the pressure and into obscurity, experience what I would say a moment where people are pushing you into that place, or where things are pushing you into a place of obscurity. And what I love about this story, as we start to really unpack this, is that you start to see that God literally allowed Saul to push David into a what we would consider a low place. Obscurity. Now, here's something I want to give the definition of that. Obscurity is a state of being relatively unknown or inconspicuous, without prominence or position. In other words, it's a person, or it's a season where you're pushed out of public view. You pushed out of being recognized. You pushed out of being in a place where you are able to accomplish purpose or destiny. You're not in a season where you feel the momentum, where you feel that you are winning. Because all of us, when we go in our winning season, that's a season where people, either are acknowledging you or giving you accolades, or saying you're doing good, that you're making it. But then you hit a season where what is known of obscurity, where people don't call you no more, people don't message you no more, and people don't reach out to you no more, or it feels like you were rising and you were getting ready for a promotion on your job, and then that just collapsed. That is what I consider a season of obscurity. You may be in a season where you're feeling obscure, where you feel undervalued. You feel as though, at one point you were pushing and things were good. Marriage was good. Money was good. Business was good. Relationships were good. You were doing well for yourself. And then now it seems as though stuff that you were working so hard to do is being snatched away. Am I talking to somebody? If that's you, I want you to put that in the comment. If you feel what I just described, that your life was, you were on top of the world, quote unquote, you were doing good for yourself, and then it's like everything just broke out. Stuff just started going to the left. Things are not as what you have always wanted them to be. Things are difficult, they're challenging, that things are not exactly how you hoped it would be. If that's you, I want you to put that in a comment, because all of us are experiencing what I would consider a season, or have, or is about to experience a season of obscurity. And David literally is running into a cave after being persecuted, after being threatened by Saul. This is what I want you to keep. The cave represent a step back from public destiny. The cave represents what I would consider a step back from public destiny, meaning that, there are two parts that destiny run through: a public view and a private view, meaning that, people will see you in the public way advancing. This is where, people can acknowledge or actually see it. But then there's a season where you're going into a private view of destiny. And David was in the public view, where people were saying, acknowledging, man, you doing it, you killing it. Saul killed 1,000, you killing 10,000. You doing it. You doing it. And then now all of that is being snatched away. This is something I want you to get as we have this conversation tonight. Obscurity is destiny's catalyst. I want you to put that in a comment. Obscurity is destiny's catalyst. Put that in the comment. That's good. That's rich. Obscurity is destiny's catalyst. What does this mean? Is that a part of you going to the place that you are destined to go? You got to go through obscurity, because you will not be able to reach the fullness of your destiny without obscurity pushing you there. I want to say it another way. Obscurity precedes opportunity. Oh my God. Obscurity precedes opportunity. Obscurity precedes opportunity. In other words, that before the opportunity comes, you're going to go through a season of obscurity. You're going to go through a season where God will allow you to go in a cave, and that cave is to position you for the opportunity. David is literally going through a season of obscurity. And this time of him going in the cage is necessary for his future, necessary for his call, necessary for what is over his life. This is necessary for what God is going to do in him. And I want to say that some of you, promotion in your life often starts with demotion. Promotion in your life often starts with demotion. In other words, promotion often look like a demotion. It looks like I'm going backwards, but the truth is God is setting you up. God is preparing you. There is an opportunity with your name on it. But you got to go through a season of obscurity, of what it looks like terrible for you. But all in all, is preparing you. David goes into the cave. I'm talking tonight. This is good. I want you to share this. If you ain't shared it already, I want you to share this. David is going through obscurity, and it's pressure, because the crazy part, David didn't choose to go through obscurity. His destiny aligned him for obscurity. That's good. He didn't choose it. His destiny is. Some of us didn't choose the season we're in now. It has been difficult. It has been rough. It has been challenging, but your destiny chose it for you. What's over your life chose it for you. I say this all the time, is that, if God has allowed you to go through that, that means he trusts you with it. And this season, some of us are feeling like this has been a difficult season. And I'm trying to tell you that it is only but obscurity that's pushing you for promotion. It's preparing you for the next place. So now David is experiencing what I would say a pause. It seems like a pause in his life, where he's not building the momentum as what he thought it was. He's going through a pause, but the pause is really process. He's going through a season where it's like a delay, but that delay is for process. It's for process. It's for pushing him and preparing him for the next phase of his life. And sometimes God has to allow you to go through obscurity. I want to share this just in thought. God has to allow you to go through obscurity to pause you, not necessarily pausing you to get in your destiny, but pausing you internally so you can reflect on where you are and what you have been going through. Because unexpected pauses provide space for inventory. Unexpected pauses provide space for inventory. That's good, because truth be told, you are going too quick. You've been going fast. You've been running, trying to do it, and stuff been sliding backwards. What's crazy is that you could be going super fast, trying to, working hard, grinding, as what we would say. We're grinding. We're trying to get the bag. We're trying to get money. We're trying to do whatever we can, build business. We're grinding, grinding, grinding. And then while you're grinding, it's like you grind. The harder you grind, the more stuff you lose. The harder you grind, the more difficult it becomes. The harder you grind, the more challenging it becomes. And you've been wondering why, like, why is this happening the way it is? Sometimes you got to allow that season of obscurity, of difficulty, to take a step back, to take an inventory over what's happening. Because the truth be told, if I keep looking at it from the way I've been looking at it, I'm going to think that is all bad, or it's difficult. But the truth is that the next season requires you to go through that season and promotion. And if I keep looking at it without taking a step back, I'm going to miss what this season is supposed to be teaching me. Are we talking in the den? Are we in here? We are in here. We are in here. We are in here. I want to say this. This is going to be rich. Delays protect destiny. Delays protect destiny. Delays protect destiny. The season of the pause, the season where God sent David in the cave, that delay was to protect his destiny. It was a season where God said, hold up, let's take a moment in the midst of this transition. Allow him not to be seen so he can reflect, so he can prepare. Delays in your life is not a denial, it's only a part of your destiny. God uses delays to protect your destiny, because if some stuff hasn't been delayed in your life and you just run right into it, you will end up destroying your destiny. So God has to delay you, send you through a season of obscurity, not to harm you, but to help you. Not to harm you, but to help you. This is where you are now. Some of us been feeling like it's been a delay. I supposed to be where I am 3 years ago. I mean, where I'm supposed to be going, it's supposed to happen 3 years ago, but I'm not there yet. So it seems like it's difficult, hard. I'm never going to get there. You're going through the season of delay so God can protect you so that your destiny won't be destroyed. The pause in your life is a reorientation. It is a place where God can realign and make adjustments. Oh my goodness. This is it tonight. Let me say it again for the person that just got on here, or for the person to go watch this later. The season of where you are right now, the delay is only to realign you so you can be prepared for the next. He has to delay it. He has to delay it. He put a pause so that you can be prepared for the next. He just had to delay it. David's in the cave. And there's a few things that I truly believe that if David was in this season of delay, and he was in this season of where things are not as what he thought it would be, that I believe internally there are some things he had to deal with in obscurity. He had to deal with some stuff in obscurity so that it will be a benefiting factor for his next season. Okay, I want to deal with a few things. Okay, so while David is in obscurity, there's a few things I want you to get. Obscurity reveals true intentions. Put that in the chat. Obscurity reveals true intentions. Say it one more time. Obscurity reveals true intentions. What does this mean? David is forced into hiding. And while he's in hiding, he's dealing with a lot of issues internally. He's dealing with a lot of issues in his heart, in his mind, in his soul for what's going to take place. And the truth is, while he's going through that, it had to reveal his true intentions. Meaning, when all the stuff, all success, all business, all these things are being stripped away, the critical question becomes, what was your motivating factor in the beginning? I truly believe that David went through that season of delay to ensure that he was prepared. He had to, there had to go through a season of checking his heart, checking his life to see if he was in alignment. Because the truth is, your heart often is revealed through a season of isolation. When stuff is not where you thought it was going to be, it is often revealed in the season of isolation, in the season of delay, in the season where it's not moving the way you thought or you had hoped it to be. Isolation tests the purity of intentions. God wants to see if you are truly doing this in this season where of delay. He wants to test your true intentions by challenging you, stripping stuff away. The worst thing it is, it's crazy, and it's the truth. I love where my life is now and what God is doing, in my life, and where God's going to take my family and what we're going to do. But the truth is, I'm grateful that I married my wife at a younger age. It may not be everybody's story, and we 13 years in marriage, and we've been together for as long as we have. And I know that if we were a door open where our lifestyle changed for more better, for the better, that I know I can trust her because of the seasons of pressure we went through. She can trust me because we're not there. We didn't get married for money, because we didn't marry into money. We didn't get married, for prestige or positions or anything like that, because we didn't have that when we got married. So if it happens later, I know that her true intentions for me is true. And sometimes God has to see, is your heart right in the beginning? I need to see before I get you to the kingdom, before you get the position, before people see you there. God wants to see, is your heart right? Is your heart prepared? I hope this is good. God has to use the season of obscurity to excavate things out of your life. It's the season of obscurity is going to reveal your true why. My, can I say that again? The season of obscurity is going to reveal your true why. Your true why. You hear me? Your true why. Because is your yes only for the accolades, or is your yes because there is a trueness to what you're doing? Is your yes real? Are we going to see your true conviction? Or are we going to see that your conviction was only as far as the reward you were getting? Mm, 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 mm. Either it's going to reveal your selfish ambition or your unshakable conviction. I said again, this season, your true intention is going to be revealed through obscurity. Either it's going to reveal your selfish ambition or your unshakable conviction. Which one is it going to reveal? What's going to come out of this season? What's going to come out of this season? What's going to be revealed throughout this season? This is good. Either it's going to reveal that you are real and authentic, or this is just something that we just thought we were going to do because it was the most popular thing. Or do you truly have the heart for it? David had to face all that because ain't nowhere in the world he gonna hide in the cave. He killed Goliath, he killed lions, he defeated bears, he in the army, he gifted, he clever, and he's running from Saul. David ain't finna sit here and just hide in the cave and not think to say, okay, is my heart really in it? Because this season, maybe this season is a test to see, is you really have the heart for God or not, the heart for your destiny or not. I hope I'm talking tonight. I hope somebody is getting this tonight. Not only it was revealing true intentions, but obscurity. I truly believe David, while he was in this season of obscurity, that it was building up in him patience, because all of us go through a season where we are challenged in our patience. I was looking at his story, and it doesn't necessarily say that David was in that cave for years or months or anything like that, but we do know it was a period of some time. And David in this had to recollect to see, man, do I really got patience to wait? Because If God told me when I was 17 that I was going to be anointed to be king, so I should have been king already in that same year, but David is now, it's years later. These are years later. And God is positioning David in here, and David now is being tested in his patience, because David had to choose patience and trust despite where he was. If David was going to become king, he had to choose patience. I want to say it like this. Patience is spiritual stamina. What does this mean? Patience is spiritual stamina, meaning that when I have patience, I can endure the season. If I don't have patience, I won't have stamina. Meaning that my resolve and my ability to keep going is only at the extent of how much I'm willing to wait. Can I say it again? My ability to keep going is only based on my ability to wait. If I can wait for it, if I can be patient for it, it builds in me stamina. You're trustworthy if you can wait. Many people, we can't wait. We can't wait in relationships. We can't wait. We get married. This crazy part, and I say this, that people that have destined to be married, if you want to be married, you got to have some patience, because the truth of the matter is that when you get into marriage, it's never going to be just as easy as you think it is. I mean, there's people that's been married 40, 50 years, and they can test to the test and say, like, hey, hold up, marriage is not always as easy as you think it is. You got to have patience. You got to have some level of patience. And David is here tested. Can we survive? We can't survive the rough part of our seasons if we don't learn how to develop patience. We cannot survive the worst part of our seasons if we cannot develop patience. Let me say it in this way. If we don't have patience for the rough part, we won't be able to receive the reward that comes through patience. Romans 5, 3-4 says, not only so, but we also glory in our suffering, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character. Character produces hope. In some texts, it may say patience, meaning that I cannot persevere, or I can't move to my next place if I don't learn how to be patient. Are you being tested in your patience? There's a difference between patience and tolerance. You can have patience, but have no tolerance. There are certain standards you have that you're not going to tolerate. That's different. But being patient is being able to wait in the process for the promise. It is having the assurance that the promise is going to come no matter how long it takes. Can I say it again? It is having the assurance that I'm going to wait on the promise no matter how long it's going to take. That's what patience is. And obscurity teaches us to have patience even when it's difficult. I hope this is good. We in a den. I told y'all we are in the den, because you didn't come to sit on here just to watch me talk to you in a camera. You came to sit because there's a part of your life that you feel obscured in. You feel like it's in a cave. But I'm trying to tell you that as you develop patience in the cave, you're preparing for the promise, and the promise is coming. But here's another thing that I believe, that David, while he was in obscurity, his true intentions had to be revealed. He had to develop patience, but I also believe that obscurity will mature our character. Obscurity will mature our character. How do you know? Because David was removed from the pace he had, the palace he lived in. David was moving at a rate. He had a pace. He had royalty. He had stuff. He was in the army. People were giving accolades to him. He was doing all of these things, being under attack. challenging on many occasions the way he could have eliminated Saul on numerous occasions, took him out easily. But he had to remain patient. He had to remain patient, and through all of that, his character was being developed. See, I truly believe that the cave was like a classroom to David. It's like a classroom to David because he had to learn how to restrain. He had to learn his authenticity. He had to learn integrity. He had to learn, you know, who he was in the midst of the cave. Had to deal with where he was in life. Here's something I want you to catch. See, when you're in the den, like I give like a lot of good perspective and nuggets and things to think about. Okay. So think about it like this: private integrity determines the weight of public influence. Let me say it again. Private integrity determines the weight of public influence. What does this mean? This means that if I have the right character in private, the right character, develop the right and have the integrity, have the mindset, how well I develop myself in the obscured season would determine the weight, the value of my public influence. We want public influence without private integrity. How are you behind closed doors? Is your character the same in season and out of season? Can people say that you are the same person no matter what platform you're on? Or- Woo, this is funny. This is good. Private integrity determines the weight of public influence, and most of us want public influence without private integrity. David, God tells Samuel, I look at the heart. While men look at the outer appearance, I look at the heart. While people look at the public, what they do in public, I look at what they do in private. What is in your private life? How do you act in your private life? Because in the season of obscurity will determine your public influence. How you treat people at the grocery store. How do you treat people at the restaurant? How do you treat your children? How do you treat your spouse? Because what you do in private will promote you in public. What you do in private will promote you in public. David was in the cave, and while he's there, he's literally being met and challenged in his pride, in the privacy, in the cave where the whole kingdom don't know what's going on. How you handle yourself in your season? What do you do? How are you developing? You thought you're thinking about doing the business, so okay. So what are you doing? Because we'll put stuff out in the public sector. We'll put on Facebook. We'll put on Instagram. We'll let the whole world know what our idea is, but we don't develop none of the stuff in private. It is we are at the end of 2023, and we're about to see a whole lot of I wish I could have, and I'm going to. we go we go see a whole bunch of that. 2024 is gonna be my year. I'm gonna build this business. I'm going to school. I'm gonna get my house in order. I'm gonna get this. Here it is. We're gonna go through all of that season. And God says, you putting these public decrees out here, but you ain't did nothing in private. You haven't developed yourself in private. Your heart is not right. Your mind is not right. So how are you acting in private will determine your public influence. David was the same person in the cave and outside the cave. His true self was developed in his season. This is good because most of us we want more weight, we want more value, we want more value. But the truth is, like, you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing to offer. It's crazy that you can want promotion and want a raise, and you don't have nothing to show for it. We demand stuff without development. Well, that's good. We demand stuff without development. That is, put that in the chat. We demand stuff without development. We put a demand out there. I gotta have this. I'm gonna get this. But we don't develop. That's the worst thing we can do. David was in the cave dealing with all of this stuff in obscurity against all of the king's army. Saul was after him, and he had to internally be the same person. Had to make sure, because the truth is there's been many occasions that David had the opportunity to kill Saul. Rolling up on Saul while he was resting on many occasions, but David, because of he was an integral person, didn't do what he could have done. This is what we're talking about. This is good. This is good. But here's something else. Here's something else. I can't leave the den, right, without giving you this, which I truly believe was a catalyst in this conversation. Here it is. Y'all ready for it? Here it is. Obscurity unlocked levels of leadership. Obscurity unlocked levels of leadership. I said it in this way. Obscurity unlocks leadership potentials. David's in the cave of obscurity, trying to figure himself out, trying to figure out how to make adjustments based on what is happening, trying to figure out what's the next thing, next step, next move in his life. And while he is there, he is met with his family. He has met with people that are bitter. He has met with people that don't have money. He has met with people that are struggling. In the midst of while David is in the cave, he's met with all these people. And the scripture says he became the commander of the people that was in the cave. Here is the crazy part. There are seasons of obscurity where you're in the place of wondering what is your next, what is going to happen for your life. You trying to develop your life while, watch this, while you are also serving other people. See, David was in this cave dealing with his own personal issues while yet still being looked up to and having to help people that was also struggling. See, sometimes, true leadership is not me just, watch this, is not me just leading when all things are good. True leadership is me learning to lead even in the season where it's a test for me. See, authority is not developed in a season of convenience. Authority is developed in the season of challenges. I'm gonna say it again. Authority is not developed in a season of convenience. Authority is developed in a season of challenges. David was in the cave being challenged himself, and yet still had to lead people in that season. See, can I tell you, you are not a true leader if you only lead when things are convenient for your life. You're a true leader and you have leadership potentials when yet still you are still a helping hand for someone else. Maybe that this is a season to test to see, can you truly lead? Can you truly lead? Can you truly lead in this type of season? Can we truly become what we need to become in this type of season? Let me say it like that. God grows leadership abilities through obscure seasons, not just in public platforms. Let me say it again. God grows leadership abilities through obscure seasons, not just on public platforms. He doesn't just promote you and develop you to become the next person you're supposed to be on a public platform. No, he does that in the season of obscurity. We want the promotion when it's convenient for us. We want people to look up to us when we look good, got dressing good. But are you a leader even when through your own challenges? That's for somebody. It may not be for everybody what I just said, but it's for somebody. Because God is trying to test you to see, are you a true leader in private? My God, my God. This is good. This is good. God is literally challenging him in this season. He is literally challenging him. He is literally challenging him. And I love that David wasn't just, can I tell you, his kingship was revealed in this season. See, David was doing all these things in public view. Notice this. Look at his life. He got promoted. He got anointed in public view. He killed Goliath in public view. He was considered a mighty warrior in public view. And while he was in private is where the real test came. Are you a true king in private? And many of us don't even know that while you're going through pain, God is utilizing those seasons of obscurity and those seasons of trials to push you and position you to lead. Because a true leader can't be trusted. A true leader can't be trusted if they are not also seeing being able to handle their own mess. Woo, my God. My God. This is blowing my own mind in the day. Let me say a true leader cannot be trusted if they can't handle their own issues, their own challenges. It's not that a leader may experience some issues and some dilemmas in their life. That's not the problem. How do you handle it when you make a mistake? How can you handle when you under pressure? Because that's when your true leadership is being revealed. Kings are developed in caves. Some of us, God has us in a cave. He has us in a season where it is a challenge. But God is saying that while you're here, he's positioning you so you can become the best person. But here is the catch. You have to learn and evaluate where you are in this season so that way you can be prepared for the next. Some of y'all need to hear this. Here's what I'm going to say. Don't take the rest of December to make a New Year's resolution without taking the time to reevaluate you, where you are, your heart, your character, your intentions, while you in this season, and start to cultivate, develop, and shift your life so that way when you get into the next season, you're prepared. Don't allow this experience of you being in a cave to go to waste. This is rich. This is rich. Don't allow this season of you experiencing the cave to go to waste. This obscure season, this season of trials, this season of pressure, don't allow it, because David didn't let it go to waste. He developed himself. He grew in the season of the cave that prepared him for the kingship that was coming in his life. And I'm trying to tell you, do not waste this season of the cave. Develop, become, shift, change your mindset. Because if you don't develop in this season, how can God trust you for the next? How can you be prepared for the next if you don't develop yourself in this season. Though it was confusing and painful for David, David had to go through this critical season so he could become the leader God ordained for his life. There is more for you. There are people waiting to see you become. There are people that are ready to receive what you have to say. There are people that are ready to walk with you, move with you, function with. There are people God has, but God says that that season won't come until you learn how to master in the cave, master in private, perform in public. I'm telling you, this is good. Master in private, perform in public. Master your character, master your skills, master your motives, master your vision, master all the things that you're supposed to master, perform in public. Quit trying to master something in public and perform in private. No, master in private, perform in public. This is good. I told you, I told you, when you get in the den, anything can be said, anything could be articulated. Because the challenge that I'm trying to get many of us that are listening to in this and that are here in the den with me is that you cannot afford to allow this season to go to waste. There's too much in you, too much around you, too much you're called to do. Master this season. Master this season. Put that in the chat. Put that in the comments. I gotta master this season. I gotta master this season. I can't allow another day to go to waste. I can't allow another season to go to waste. Even while it's painful, there's still a lesson in the pain. David had to go through this because it was a part of God's plan for his life. Obscurity really realigned him and prepared him for public performance. This was a necessity for his future. Where you are is a necessity. Don't allow the pressure to push you away from purpose. Let the pressure cultivate you for purpose. Here's the thing that I want to say. It is in a season of the cave where God quietly prepared David to become king. And some of you, God is quietly preparing you. Because sooner rather than later, hear me, I'm going to say it again. Sooner rather than later, you are about to walk into the season that God have already spoken concerning you, your family, your friends. You're about to walk in this season. You got no time to waste. You got no time to waste. No time to waste, y'all. Literally no time to waste. It is 26 days left in this year. You ain't got no time to waste. You ain't got no time to complain, to murmur, to cry about it. You ain't got no time to waste. There's too much in you to be wasting, complaining. Take this season and cultivate and become what you need to become. Because David became the best him in obscure seasons. Y'all, this was the den. This was the den. And I hope tonight was good. I hope tonight was good. I hope tonight was good. I hope you receive something tonight because here's the challenge. I don't want to see you fall by the wayside. Be transparent. Challenge today. Haven't had that much rest. But because I understood purpose and destiny over me, I wasn't going to allow my experience to delay the purpose over my life. Shift. You got to learn to shift. Focus on the destiny. not the issue. If y'all enjoyed Destiny Emerge, I want you to put in the comment. I want you to let me know you enjoyed tonight. Tonight was a doozy, y'all. Tonight was a doozy. Some people are watching the replay right now. You catching the replay. I'm telling you, this is your season. We are in the cave life, and because we're in the cave life, there's too much that we got in our life for us to literally lose. And so listen, I enjoyed teaching tonight. I want to make sure that we do this in my description, whether you are on Mike, I see you said good job. Look here, that's funny. That's an inside joke. Oh my God, to see y'all on here. Uh to see y'all, Jimmy is on here. Oh my God, Janisha, y'all is amazing. Y'all was holding it down. My God. Just sharing on here. I appreciate y'all hanging and rocking with me and sticking with me. Listen, I want to say this in the description, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. Well, Facebook primarily. I want you to do me a favor. Please take out the time. It'll only take you about a couple of seconds. Go on YouTube. There's a link in there for YouTube. I want you to literally subscribe to my YouTube channel. My intention and focus is to really prepare and create a community for people to be able to receive what you have been receiving even tonight. And so I just want you to support by going literally on there and subscribing and making sure you turn a notification bell on, because I go live on YouTube as well. But I want to make sure that this gets out here, because there's too much that God is doing and God is saying through Destiny Emerge that we can, just allowing it to fall by the wayside. So help me out. Help me out by just doing that and pushing this. And also make sure you share this, y'all. This has been good. My intention and goal is to make sure that we create a great space for people so they can emerge in their destiny and walk in their calling. And so I appreciate y'all hanging, y'all rocking with me. I don't know what's gonna happen next week, y'all. It's gonna be crazy. So listen, if y'all enjoyed it, make sure you tune in next week. It's gonna be dope. We're gonna be continuing to push. We got a few more weeks left in this year, but when we get to 2024, there's so much gonna come out. I'm gonna be doing so much. I already have so many things in plan and in store. So make sure you stay tuned, stay locked in. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. We're gonna be going live in Destiny Emerge until otherwise. So make sure y'all tune in. There is so much to come. I appreciate y'all hanging with me, rocking with me, sticking with me. Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good night and be safe. And I see you next week in the den. Peace out.